Hey, Inuki here. If you'd like more CoH games, show your support on Twitch or join the Discord. Now Jenkins, introduce the commanders please.
Righto, Inuki, my good fellow. Let's get stuck in, shall we?
Yeah.
Ladies and gents of the audience, lend your eyes and ears as we set the stage. On the west side of this fine battlefield, we greet an allied commander who goes by the name of Nub. A loyal servant of the US forces, this chap, donned in the swankiest shade of blue, is ready to brave the challenges of the west side of Twin Beaches.
Oh, so swanky.
Nub, he's a right character. He once moved in under the cover of night, sabotaging an Axis fuel depot and replacing it with crates of canned spam. For a whole week, the enemy tanks couldn't move, just emitting puffs of smoked pig smell. An odd hero, maybe, but a hero nonetheless. Now let's hop over to the east, where our Axis commander, Reakly, squats like a smelly toad. He's a member of the Wehrmacht, dressed in a rather dour red. Now don't be fooled, Reakly has a history. Why, once, he started a rumor that the Americans were supplying their troops with an endless supply of bubble gum. His men spent the whole day sticking their boots into the mud, convinced it was discarded gum. Can't say I'm expecting much sense from the east side today. Well, there are our heroes and, well, not so heroes, ready for the rumble. Pass me the popcorn, Inuki. This is going to be a cracker.
To be honest, Jenkins, I don't think I should give you any popcorn. I don't know what kind of popcorn fumes you're sniffing, but that was a hell of an introduction. We do have gunfire, gun-ho in the way in the middle. It's interesting to see that the first bullets being traded are over the +5 munition points, I think. But hey, M29 Weasel recon vehicle, I'll love to see you out in the field getting yourself upgraded with a 30 cal. Not deserving of the 50 cal. But the Browning automatic is a sweet thing to behold. This early on in the game anyway. Like, if you can, you know, not be the front line of war, the supporting fire and the damage it provides is nice and handy. Rifles moving up. This is where you usually see the fighting happening over the +10, but it's not just +10 fuel. It's also high ground. It's a strategically superior point. Height elevation gives you advantages. We all know this. And M29 Weasel looking kind of low. I'd be worried. It's back to way enough, but now we just have the Grenadiers to deal with. The Scout Squad offering some nice fire because they're not getting cover from here. Oh, thank you, Wolf King. Resubscribe. Brilliant. Oh, God. And whilst I wasn't looking, the rifles took huge casualties. Merp. Still, though, looks like Nub was able to come out on top of this point, and the territory will go over to them. It doesn't matter that the Scout Squad is down to 1 soldier. They still camp at the same speed, and capping is what they are good at. But we've focused a lot on the north side. Yeah. So if you're not winning a fight in one place, go frickin' capture some other territory. That's what Reakly's got going for them. And they're going to try and stick around just to decap, but unfortunately, because the engineers stand on the point, it means there's no capturing. It just goes into a stalemate. So maybe should have retreated a bit earlier. Bit longer. That's a bit longer of a retreat. M29 Weasel got its repairs it's so desperately needed. We have a heavy machine gun out here. You can't suppress a Weasel, but you can't also just stick your Weasel in front of a heavy machine gun and not expect it to take damage. So we're getting a large amount of forces on the north side for Reakly.
But the bullets hurt the same.
The bullets do hurt the same. Oh, we have that high ground advantage up here. Not going to matter too much, though, when you are significantly outnumbered.
PS medic will be deployed at the headquarters.
We do need some reinforcements here, Nub. They're holding. They are holding. Reinforcements getting into the flanking position, but they got spotted. But that's okay, though. Just forcing the machine gun to retreat, rotate, rather, is good enough.
Upgrade.
I don't think they're going to get around the back. There we go. There's that suppression. Oh, that's nasty. Another wave has arrived for Nub. I like seeing this wave warfare where the battle is just continuous and ongoing. As the frontline set of soldiers retreat back to base, a new group takes over, and you get this tug-of-war kind of effect. So we're using that recon to capture.
Enemy forces have claimed our territory.
They've managed to get a hold of both of the munition points on the top side of the map, which means munitions income is going to be incredible for the Allied commander Nub. Getting great use out of this recon vehicle so far. I've not seen, like, such superior territory control when this thing's out on the field. You know, it does good, but this is just the best I've ever seen it. Look at that. Look at that. That is a sight to behold. How does Reakly get out of this? Jenkins. Reakly is contained inside their base. They've lost all territory. Nub has captured everything. All the munitions, all the fuel. Just one victory point remains, and it looks like their captain is being sent to capture it. What would you suggest in this situation? I'm challenging Jenkins. What else we got in the base coming out? Oh, we do have a 223.
221.
Oh, it's a 221, yeah. See what I mean? Like, my gap. 223 is the one with the heavier shots. Oh my god, they're going to take out a captain. Oh, that's great stuff. Reakly.
Well, Inuki, old chap, this is a bit of a sticky wicket for our friend
I'm not
Reakly,
old.
isn't it? Holed up in his base like a frightened badger. Not a way for a German officer to behave. If I were him, I'd throw in the towel and save the petrol for a swift retreat. As for our blue-clad banner-bearing hero, Nub, what a champion, what a leader. All that's left is one tiny victory point, you say. I'm of the opinion his bally-brilliant captain should prance straight over there and claim it. After all, it's not like our friend Reakly is coming out anytime soon, what with his fondness for barricading himself. Reakly should really rethink his strategy. Try advancing backwards into the sea next. I heard it's nice this time of year. Our good fellow Nub, on the other hand, well, he's just having a Sunday stroll on the beach, isn't he? I reckon victory is close at hand, and Her Majesty is no doubt very proud. Not quite as easy as knitting a Spitfire, mind you, but not much harder either.
Her Majesty is very powerful. She could easily knit a Spitfire on demand if needed. But hey, look, Captain down, Rifle Squad down. That was great for Reakly, and now he no longer needs to barricade themselves up in the base or save the fuel for retreating into the sea. They are good to go. I think they are back in this game. That is exactly the power play move that Reakly needed.
It seems that Nub is saving up for the AI planes, which was later added to SFBG, I believe.
Okay. Planes. I like planes. That was my insight onto that. I need to get some food after this, by the way. I shouldn't have casted. I started casting without eating. 221 already with just one kill, apparently. I thought they would have got more. Somehow they managed to kill without actually killing. I guess the kill went over to one of the other infantry squads, which was chasing down, which I would have imagined be the captain. Off it goes to the top side of the map. Getting that new rifle squad replacement. What happened to the last rifle squad? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is going to be a painful run back to base for the engineers, as is the problem with Twin Beaches. You've got both bases. Both bases on the south side of the map, which means when you run to the top side of the map, it is just such a long run. You need to make sure that you can retreat in that dire time of need. Doesn't happen in this case. Putting Nub back down to just 3 rifle squads and a scout squad. Oh, we're getting Jaegers out on the field now as well. My God. I like that in Company of Heroes 3 there can just be a swing in the state of the map. Oh, Sprint coming out as well. They are chasing that 2-2-1 and not a 2-2-3. I think they're trying to get a sticky grenade off.
Our territory is exposed.
They got to try and run where it's going. Yeah, that way, this way, this way, this way.
Territory lost.
I cannot take my eyes off this. Oh, they get it. At what cost? Well, at the cost of about 5 nubs. Which I think works out at under 100 manpower.
Just in time, like Jenkins.
They shall lead the way.
Jenkins, I just saw Nub command a squad of 6 riflemen to sacrifice 5 riflemen to get 1 sticky grenade off on a 2-2-1 armored car. Was it worth it? I don't know if it was worth it or not. Well, I guess Jenkins can be the authority on that. The scout squad looks like it's going to have a painful retreat path as well. This is maybe what Nub needs to improve on. Oh god, here we go again.
Inuki, old bean. What a kerfuffle, eh?
I'm not old.
Our boy Nub seems to have taken a bit of a risky gamble there, doesn't he? Trading 5 good men for a single sticky grenade on a 221 armored car. Now, couldn't that grenade have been better served with a pot of tea and a biscuit? Here's the thing, though, lad. In this here war, sometimes you've got to make the hard choices. So yes, it's a blooming tragedy. Those men lost. But think about this. 1 well-placed sticky grenade could leave that tin box of a 221 armored car in flaming bits, giving Nub a distinct advantage. I reckon our brave lads would agree that a tank's tread is a far better place for a sticky grenade than, say, a pavement or a tree. Next time, though, let's hope Nub remembers to keep the sacrifices to a minimum. Keep your chin up, Nub, my lad. The Queen can smash tanks with a single high five, but we mere mortals have to rely on other, more costly methods. Ha!
Well, out comes a 105, which is a terror.
The 105.
Yeah, did anyone pick up the fact that Jenkins thinks that a 221 has tracks? I think he's taken 1 too many grenades to the head. Out comes a decent counter, Panzer IV medium tank. That's this is quite literally a back and forth, like back and forth between the bases. We are stretching the span of the map. Back we go. It's a good job that we don't need fuel for tanks, not like Men of War. Otherwise, I think some of these vehicles will have run out of fuel. Oh, it is a command panzer. Yeah, you're right. Not just a regular Panzer IV. So, whilst it is kind of okay, I think the 105 does more damage if it gets a direct hit. But I'm not too sure about this matchup. It's an unusual matchup, for sure. Command panzer, though, without any other panzers? It's alright against infantry. Its penetration is relatively low, as we've just seen. Generally, you know what, you got to think about like the size of the barrel.
I believe the Panzer can be toggled between AP and AI.
It can, but even with penetration rounds, I don't think it's that high on damage. It's useful though for versatility, like when you need to get a bit of extra damage down on a tank, or you really want to switch to killing infantry. It's nice to have that option. The 105, though, it's only going to deal damage to enemy vehicles with a direct hit. And that direct hit can be pretty iffy to get if the vehicle is moving. We'll see the shot there, you see? The command panzer wasn't even moving all that much.
our territory from us.
We're just going to phase through each other. Can't miss at this distance. Surely, no, you certainly can. It's just too fast. Oh, it was a hit. Okay, so the 105 didn't do too much damage. I expected it to do more. The 105, like, kind of has a big blast. Alright, now it's time for the Command Panzer to return back to its base. We didn't lose any tanks there, which is good for either side. Reakly and Nub both don't want to lose their assets. Who does? But Reakly now is the one with the significant amount of territory. We go over to the tactical map, and you can see it's kind of just shifted in the other direction. You know, the cutoff point here means that none of the munitions up here are being in control, so it doesn't matter that the rifle squad is capturing this. I don't think they're going to be able to actually capture it and turn it into blue. Best they can hope for is to neutralize it and prevent the resources going into the enemy commander's hand. Reakly won't appreciate that, sitting on a lowly 40 munitions, but hey, plus 56 versus plus 10. Nob only has 10 munitions every minute. It's not a lot.
We don't get to see Hellcats often, but Nub doesn't have access to
Territory
it.
sector lost.
I like seeing Hellcats on the field. As you say, we've got one now. Oh, look at the penetration power of that. Panzer Shrek to the side. Panzer Faust to the side. I think we've just sacrificed the Hellcat. You cannot do that with the Hellcat.
When possible, Commandant.
Hellcats are not a frontline kind of vehicle. You got to bring them in like as a second point of conflict. Like you send in your original forces, you try and tie up the enemy into combat. Then you bring in the Hellcats, preferably in a flank. In fact, I wouldn't even say preferably in a flank. I would just say 90% of the time in most situations, you got to bring them in as a flank. And that sometimes means exercising patience, because all too often...
Reakly is amazed about high panzers.
Wow, this Panzer's actually good. I think, you know, so often is the case. Certain... Oh my god, we got a fuel cache here. Damn. So often is the case, like, plenty of units are good. It's just the situation. People construed good units with units which are universally good. Like rifles, you're always going to get rifles. They're mandatory. They're necessary. So you'll always bring them out in every situation. So people sometimes go, oh, rifles are too powerful. Look, the rifles are always being used. Blah, blah, blah. And it's just the case that, you know, they're a versatile unit. We do have a Panzer IV regular one. Super barrel style. Well, it's not a super barrel, but, you know, it's bigger than the command one. And, something like the M8 Scott, I think for a long time was not used until it got, I think, a few buffs. M8 Scott is a howitzer tank for the US forces that you get from the Armored Battle Group. I still found use with that. It was really good. It could fire on the move. It delivered smoke. It tormented enemy infantry. It didn't, like, do a lot of damage, but it did force repositioning, and, you know, if enemies holed up inside of buildings, or you had heavy machine guns to deal with, you could deal with them relatively safely. And a lot of people didn't use that. They just wrote off the vehicle. But it was situationally very good.
Nub is between a rock and a hard place, though.
I think quite possibly a harder place now. Jenkins, I'm afraid to tell you that it seems like your Nub commander is now stuck in their base. There's a Panzer IV knocking on the door. They still have the Panzer IV command tank. There's heavy machine guns outside, and the barracks is looking for worse for wear. It's got holes in the canopy. What the hell does Nub do in this situation? Besides running over mines and grenades. Got to try and break out. Let's see if the 105 can offer any assistance. We can deal with the infantry, but what deals with the tanks? They don't have any anti-tank, and now we have air coming in. Delivers his payload. It's not
Well,
exactly...
blow me down with a feather, Inuki. It appears the turntables have, well, turned.
Yeah.
Nubs copped it a bit tight, the old boy. A Panzer IV breathing down your neck, and with a command tank in tow, no less. Not to mention those bothersome heavy machine guns serving as a rather unwelcome welcome committee. But let's not get our knickers in a twist just yet. Old Nub's made out of tougher stuff than a Royal British teabag, remember? He needs to keep calm and carry on, that's what. The Colonel isn't going to like my suggestion, but Nub's got to engage in a spot of negotiation. Maybe offer those blighters a spot of afternoon tea if they promise to clear off. Joking aside, though, Nub needs to rally the troops, fix up those barracks, and maybe see about procuring a few anti-tank guns at a jumble sale. It's a sticky wicket, no doubt, but it's not a situation that a proper British grit and a dose of cunning won't overcome.
Oh,
What say we place our bets on Nub? I've got 5 Bob says he dances his way out of this. Heaven knows, we've seen him pull the cat out of the bag before. Keep your chin up, newbie, old bean.
come on, old bean. I'm surprised that the Hellcat actually survived getting out the freaking tank factory. Might as well throw in the 105 in here, by the way, just as another vehicle to bounce shots off. It might contribute a little damage. Nub is not using all of their assets at their disposal, that's for sure. They want to finish off the Panzer IV, but unfortunately, because of the way that micro works in this game, oh, very well played from Reakly. In fairness, not Nub's fault.
The enemy have 200.
AI
If-
repeat.
Hey, Vivi here. I edit and upload the videos here on Ironcast. If you want to see Inuki cast more, then like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, come along to the Discord, do anything to let him know. Inuki would love to cast more if you'd like to see more.